Dodo, we've agreed that continental maps are accurate. We've agreed that you can head west and end up in the same spot you started. Do you agree that we can? It doesn't have to be extremely accurate, but we have a general understanding of the distance between continents. So if I head west for a certain amount of time from Africa, I'll hit Australia. Do we agree?
No.
So you're disagreeing with hundreds of years of navigation by sea as well?
So you're vouching for hundreds of years of navigation now. Is that assuming that there's no intent to deceive from the very outset? What about the church and all their influence? What about governments? You hear about Queen Elizabeth these days, who owns
What are
your
you
country,
talking
by the
about?
way. Yeah, but hang on, please. These are the sources of
Oh
our
my God.
information, Carlos. Right? These are the sources of our information. So you trust all of these sources, right? The rational Aussie. You trust all of these sources? There's no intent to deceive.
His only question was, if you travel west, will you eventually hit Australia?
I'm just trying to get a rough continental layout that we can both agree on. Doesn't have to be on a globe. It can be on a flat plate. It can be on whatever shape you wish.
Right.
I'm just trying to get on a rough continental layout that we can agree on. Just a general.
Right. Well, that's why I gave you the Oculus mosaic. That's probably jumping about 5 steps ahead. Right? You call me Dodo. The dodo bird never existed, man. When it came to flat Earth, Gleason's map was presented to us with Australia at the top. When you rotate it around, a picture of a certain bird jumps out. With that as a dodo bird, especially when you imagine areas like the Mediterranean or the Gulf of Mexico or the Philippines drained away. Right? This is the greater coding that's going on in our reality, where the truth is always known. You're here to waste time, so please, at least please make an effort.
Stop it. He's in the middle of his sentence.
Pete, can you stop, bro?
Pete.
Excuse me, man. I'm finished my point right there, so stop telling me to talk.
My God, she's been here 2 minutes.
I just wanted to point out, Pete, the reason he called you Dodo is because that's literally your name here.
I know that. I don't take offense at that.
Then why did you go fly off the handle like that?
No, because we're talking about the layout of the land. And I told you that this is the layout. It's all encoded within the dodo bird and beyond. Simple as that. But he hasn't considered that. And also, let me say this. The Earth is oval, elliptical, eye-shaped in fashion. It's defined by what's going on in the sky, which has a central Earth source, right? But yeah, every map, like the Gleason's map, is always circular. So yeah, when we come to flat Earth, stationary Earth, we can take, once again, I don't want to talk too long, but once again, we're given a specific tale from the spinning ball Earth, heliocentric model, where all the planets revolve around in elliptical fashion. If you translate that and these real observations to a flat stationary Earth, well, this is where it leads us. And that's why, last thing, to you, the rationalist Aussie, I pointed out the Oculus mosaic. Look into where it is located. Again, it's a game of clues, and it's up to you, the individual, to follow them. If you're not asking the question, though, you're getting nowhere.
Okay, you done? All right. So I'm just trying to give you the courtesy of finishing before I respond. So we're back to.
Yeah, that's courtesy. Let me finish talking. I appreciate it.
Hey, Aussie. Can I ask you something?
No. Let's follow this to its logical conclusion first, and then we can talk about whatever you want to talk about silent. So we've agreed that continental maps are accurate. We've agreed that when you head west, you get back to where you started, and I think we've agreed that we have a rough idea about where the continents are laid out in terms of reference to each other. Is that correct?
When you say we, what do you mean?
You and I. I'm trying to have a common. I'm trying to find a common ground with you.
No, but I hear you using that phrase a lot, but you have yourself on a spinning ball. That's your only picture you have in your brain. Of course, I had the spinning ball in my brain. Let me just say, Paige, I had the spinning ball in my brain. So I not only have thought about that, but I'm encompassing a different sort of thought process as well. So do I have the advantage over you, or do you still have the advantage over me, man? I don't know.
Pete, it was a yes or no question, man. Just answer yes or no.
Answered. Your English isn't great, Carlos, so take it easy.
My name is not Carlos, Pete.
Let's continue.
You're not Carlos.
I
call you no.
Anyway. So like I said, let's just talk a little bit about reality. Would you agree that, like, when we're trying to work out what's true and what's real, we attempt to model that based on what we know? Would we agree on that?
If there was honest endeavor.
Okay, so for you and I, trying to understand the world we live in, we attempt to model that in a way that we best understand it, correct?
Where do we start? What's our first primary question? Me and you are thrown into a desert island. Our memories are forgotten, but we know there's a prime motive to figure out what's going on from our island with no outside sources. What's the question? What's the first question we ask?
Hold on, I think that we're getting a little bit sidetracked here. I'm more than happy to talk about your desert island analogy, but I'd like to just focus on what we're talking about here.
It is a focus on it. What's the basic question we ask? I have an answer. What's your first question?
How did I get here? If I've just
forget about that. Island. Your quest is to figure out the shape of the place you live on. Now you have reality at your beckoning. Because you're experiencing
I'd walk around
on the desert island. Hang on, man. You spoke for 4 hours last night. I'm just trying to get my point out. The point of we've been on the desert island, you've no outside influences. So your memory's been wiped, but your goal, your quest is to figure out the question that we're asking at the minute, right? What's your basic question that you ask? Me and you, all of us. What do we ask when we observe this reality from day to night? What's the first question?
I'm unsure.
Like, where am I?
Like my first questions would be like, how did I get here? Where am I? Yeah, and if I'm on an island, I'd walk around it and try to suss out where I am.
Right.
I'd be going, where's the edge?
Well, we look at the sky. Hang on. Okay, basic. We're back to basics, right? We look at the sky. We look at the ground we're on. We sort of, get a feel for everything, and we know this is where I reduce it back to 3 possibilities. What we're standing on is separate from what's above us. So that's either moving, because everything would appear to move in unison on a daily night basis. What I'm standing on is moving, or it's a mixture of both. Would you agree that there are 3 reasonable sort of getting to the core foundational question or consideration?
Yeah. Well, but it wouldn't be like I mean, I guess let's just lay this out to its logical conclusion. You're asking me for answers, and then when I give you my answer, you don't seem to want to accept it. Like the questions that you think you would ask yourself aren't the questions I'd be asking myself. No.
I want to know if that would be your basic consideration, because I only say that because you keep talking about we, and then you reduced it down to me and you, we. So now I give you that for a basic consideration. Would you agree that they would be very basic questions?
So run the questions by me again.
Right. So we're moving the Earth. The Earth we're standing, because we recognize the divide. What's above us is moving would be the first consideration, I would say, and then we're moving, right? Or it's a mixture of both, right? So they would be the foundation. I think once you realize you have to decide on what's what there, then only everything that follows from there can sort of continue on with some sort of level of solidity, right? Solid foundation. Would you agree with that?
Sure. If you're talking about a situation where we have no access to the wealth of human knowledge that we have access to, yeah, sure. If you're saying like we're
let me tell you something then.
Sky, yeah, sure.
Right. Well, let me tell you something then, my friend. Up to this day, it has never, ever been proven scientifically or otherwise that the Earth that you're standing on moves 1 iota, 1 jot, 1 centillion, right? Just like all of our experiences. And if that is our foundational starting point, well, then everything else that's moving above us, as it all seems to move in unison, the question will lead us towards, well, is there a singular source? Maybe earthbound? Where is this Earth?
Can you back that up?
You don't go there. You forego that. You already have the answers given to you by others, by the we, the great we.
Can you back that up? Can you back that
up? Okay, cool. All right, now we've done your desert island analogy. Let's try and get back to what we're talking about.
You've done nothing, man. You've done nothing.
So hold on.
You sound like a Glover, Pete.
Why is that? Why is that, Carlos? Why is that?
My name is not Carlos. Look, Pete. First of all, Pete
is racist, so all Latinos sound the same.
If this Earth doesn't move, right, based on our universal experience, where's Bob Dole? Based on our universal experience with water, the ball is ruled out immediately because water is always flat.
Let me answer you. You sound like a baller.
The person who got personal first.
You sound like a baller because you cannot back any of the stuff you're saying, just like they cannot back any of the stuff they say.
You don't know anything about what I can back or not, man.
Well,
let's do it. We're here.
Do it. Back it up. I'd like to stay on track if possible.
Excuse me.
Back up your claims.
Hang on. You don't know what I know, right? You don't know what I can back or not. I've been through many of these things on
Back
my
it
own
up.
hangout, right? Just because they're not
You
talking about them
can't.
right
You
now,
can't.
that doesn't mean I can't
You
back
can't
it.
back it up though.
Come on,
You
guys.
now
This is
sit
derailing. It
here
doesn't need
and
to.
listen.
Let's step it back.
Yeah, funny it derails when Brenda gets here. How rational was he? Like, we were having a really good discussion until she came in, started butting in and being personal.
Okay, Dodo, let's just roll this back. So, like, we were finding some common ground there, which is good. So we agree that the continental maps are accurate. We agree that you head west and you can end up where you finished. We agree that you have a general rough idea the distances between continents. Now, would we agree that when we're trying to model something, we use the best available evidence to try and understand our reality, correct?
Best information, best available information, but who is giving us the information? Remember I talked about this intent to deceive man, and it changes everything. Can you understand that if there's an intent to deceive from the outset, then everything that you're saying cannot be entertained because there's that doubt. And the more we look through conspiracies, again, you're going to be sort of a yes man or a no man in terms of conspiracies everywhere, I'm going to bet, well, then that changes the game. So cut to the chase. Are you upside down to me at this minute? If I was to point directly at you, you were to point directly at me. Am I pointing at my feet and are you pointing at your feet? Does that make sense to you?
Hold on, let's stay on topic. We can talk about that in a moment.
It's on topic.
Just,
it's on topic because you've placed yourself on a ball with all of your continental arrangements, right?
I'm happy to say that we're not on a ball right now. Let's just try and slowly work through.
So who do you trust for your information then?
And what we know. Okay,
right. So who do you trust for your information then?
If you'd allow me to finish, I've been giving you the courtesy to finish your sentences.
Dodo, you're trying to go way too deep, way too quickly. You can't force somebody to get to that level from the get-go. You have to walk through it with them.
He's right at the start.
You don't get to just start at the end and demand that they understand it or accept it. That's exactly what they want you to do, is start at the end and accept it. You can't do that.
No, he's starting at the beginning.
Dodo is not. Dodo is not starting at the beginning. He's starting several levels deep in an attempt to force Aussie into it, and you can't force someone into it.
Well, Aussie's starting at the beginning.
Yes, Aussie is attempting to start at the beginning, and he's not being allowed to, and it's not fair, and it's not reasonable, it's not logical for him to continue to be forced to not start at the beginning.
I agree with that. I second that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with that too.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Pete's way further on than you got 5 years of research and information between these guys.
But hang on, please. He's not starting at the beginning because when he talks about the continental arrangements that we can agree on, we've all agreed on, he has himself automatically placed on a sphere ball Earth, and he's looking for me to present a flat Earth reality to contrast.
But he already conceded that he doesn't have to use that.
Same time, having me understand that the information we're getting, the consensus thinking from the men of science, is all accurate and above board, where there's no intent whatsoever to deceive, right?
But
that's the whole point.
But he said he was willing to get rid of the ball for a second.
Right, he was willing to concede the ball already. He made that clear.
Right.
Okay, we good? We can keep going.
Hang on, let me just. I'm with Pete. If you can't agree right off the bat that there's not people upside down under your feet,
they've already agreed.
Flight plans. Hang on, flight plans.
Right. So right hand. Hang on.
Pete's starting.
You're derailing. You're derailing.
Let the conversation. Hang on. No, I'm not. Let the conversation continue then.
That's a good point, right hand.
Let me finish, please.
If you're going to make that argument, then you have to not start with geography at all. You have to start with gravity and convince them that it's not real.
Hang on, please. Let the conversation continue, because the rationalist Ozzy is after conceding that he's taken himself off a ball. So in potential, I am pointing directly horizontally at him in Australia and him at me. Let's take it from there. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Like, I think that I don't need to like, for what we're talking about right now, I'm happy to concede that we don't know whether we're on a ball, whether we're on a flat plane, where we are. I'm more than happy to. Like, I'm trying to walk to a point where we can decide whether or not that's the case. Okay, so we're at the point where we agree that maps exist, that they're accurate right up into the continental level. We agree that we can head west and end up in the same place, and that the spacing between continents is, we can have a rough idea as to the sort of spacing between continents. So that's where we're at.
Not 100% accurate though.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but we just need a rough idea. Like, we can have a rough idea that certain continents are placed in certain areas.
There is a fixed layout.
Okay, hang on. I got a problem. I got a problem with this already. So he
this
can't
isn't
experience.
involving you.
All right, hang on. So hang on. But let me just. I'll offer my piece. If you want it, you can throw it out. He's starting with a world he hasn't explored. Why don't we bring this to what we can experience right in the here and the now and around us? Right. So what he's trying to do is build this flight plan, which will build this database, which will build these flight points, which will build this ball. That's all. If you can't see what he's doing, then you haven't been in this game long enough. So why don't we bring it away from his presuppose and his things that he can experience and talk about things we can experience. The Earth
How
around
about
us.
you keep your nose out of it?
If I can reply, right the hand. There's nothing presupposed here. That's the whole point. We're trying to have a common ground on things we both agree on.
You're presupposing the map.
We've agreed that maps are accurate.
No, well, you do. That's you. So
you're
right ahead. The information you're getting is honest, right? And if there's an intent to deceive, would you agree, Ozzy man? If there's an intent to deceive, that changes the game. Would you agree with that, first of all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's all.
No, that wasn't.
Ask any flat earther. Was there an intent to deceive me when man landed on the moon? And you can see through.
We can take it a step back further, if you like. So we can take it a step back.
Talking about Will Smith and Barack Obama.
Let's keep on topic if we can. Let's take it a step back further. If you're saying there's an intent to deceive, we can at least agree that in terms of maps, there's no intent to deceive because we can test those maps right up to the continental scale in most cases. We would agree on that, correct?
No.
Whether there's an intent to deceive or not, we can actually get out and physically drive our vehicle around a continent or drive our vehicle around a country or around our local area and check the veracity of those maps. And for the most part,
yes, but how are you
the majority of maps are fairly accurate.
How are you going to locate your positioning?
Okay, you can locate your positioning by knowing which city you're in, by using your GPS coordinates, by using a variety of means that can correct
themselves. GPS already places you on a spinning ball.
GPS.
Right?
There you go. Okay,
right so we don't have to use GPS.
Ball,
that's the beautiful thing. We don't have to use
GPS. To the sky.
First of all,
what else then?
GPS, guys. GPS not always work. I'm a truck driver. I can tell you that. Second, the roads are measured by walking the roads. The people actually they actually walk the entire miles measuring. That's why they are so precise. And sometimes they get it wrong. So that's only on the roads. If we're talking about places where they have no roads and all this stuff, we don't know measurements of those things.
I'm not going to buy that without seeing it, that they walk every inch of those roads. That sounds absurd.
Have you ever seen a road be built?
Hold on. They do. Guarantee
they do. They
look. Multiple times.
I've been driving. Listen.
How were they built? How were they built if they didn't walk?
Listen.
Exactly.
I've been driving for 10 years, bro.
Okay, I don't walk through every floor of every building, but the buildings are built. That's not the same thing.
No, they
guys,
every road that's built in every.
I've been driving for 10 years. I see these people walk all the time with the little wheel thing measuring the fucking roads. For 10 years I seen it done.
Well, like I said, without seeing it, I'm not going to go along with that.
Bro, that's the only.
All right, well, you're free to believe whatever you want.
Bro, when they
you're free to believe whatever you want, bro.
No, there's another way. They can assume the measurements just like they assume a lot of other things. I don't know why it would be out of your grasp to just think that they probably just guess a lot of this crap.
Road building usually depending on who the contractor is.
Prove a shape anyway.
Depending on who the contractor is, road building is done by the foot. That's how they do it, a linear foot.
Not to mention that GPS was developed by the Defense Department.
Right. And
listen, the reason why
of this earth.
Guys, the reason, let me answer this guy. Let me answer this guy. The reason why they have to walk is because the reason why they need to walk the fucking distance, sorry, my language, is because you have little hills, big hills, and they cannot be accounted as a straight line. You need to actually walk to see how many miles more like if you get a big hill and then a down, that's gonna give you extra meters, extra miles, or however you want to count it. That's why it needs to be walked.
Right?
Damn.
There's two
Who's
dimensional
looking
systems.
for that
So
information,
as the crow
though?
flies, a direct path, point-to-point travel over a flat Earth, and here is the fucking deception. It's the contoured sky. The spherical coordinate system applies to the contoured sky. Again, a Cartesian coordinate system applies to a flat Earth. They are confusing the two purposefully. But let me say this: whoever said that, I think it was Bob Dole, that they don't give a shit. They're just filling in gaps. Not a chance. Every fucking square foot, I think, of this Earth is mapped out accurately in relation to
I don't think it's humanly possible.
It's a heroic
I don't
effort,
think so.
National, but
What?
it's basically a waste of your time.
I don't think it's humanly possible for man to walk along every inch of the Earth. I mean, I don't think we've even been to the bottom of the ocean.
Guys. Hey, hold on real quick. Okay, so
I'm talking about that.
Hold on, listen, just real quick. As they make each segment of road, which they are walking, they measure. We're not saying that they started out on Saturday and then took 2 years to measure from coast to coast. As they build the roads,
okay, that's different than what I thought you were saying. Like they were Google carring it, but with their feet.
Oh my god!
No.
That's what I thought you were trying to convince me of. That's
Travis.
Okay.
Travis.
If they do it while they're building it, yeah,
you're a truck driver, right, Travis?
Yeah.
Travis, you're a truck driver, right?
Yes.
You know this stuff, right? That like they walk the freaking road a couple times.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
As they build the roads, they're marking out how long the roads are.
Yeah, of course they do.
When he says he saw them walking along the road, that sounds like they're just like Google car without the car. Like that's what it sounds like.
Oh,
it's like there's no way.
You have a measuring wheel. You have a measuring.
All right, guys, I'm going to tap out because this is just derailing. Let's pick it up another day when we can stay on topic. But this is just derailing.
It will never happen.
Seems to always do.
It will never happen.
Yes, it will, Brenda. Leave the call. Yeah, leave the call, Brenda. We do not need your negativity. We do not.
Well, he wasn't going to prove anything with his flight path. That's what he was working to. He was building these maps.
That's all he has. He's a one-trick pony.
You can't prove shape with distance.
And you could talk about everything's about
you couldn't even get past a 2-minute conversation. I mean, if you're willing to sit there and have an honest intellectual
back through the ball, and we're trying to walk you through flat Earth,
can
and
you guys
won't
just let me finish? Come on. I mean, I've been giving everybody the courtesy of letting them finish. I'd love it if you guys did the same to me.
I don't care about that.
All right, Aussie.
Question: what happened on
Go to the point,
Brenda.
Brenda,
leave the call.
Been a good conversation, National. You think people haven't let you speak?
I think that right devolved at this point. It was a great conversation up until that point.
No, Aussie, stop asking.
Yeah, so we have been giving you opportunities.
Stop asking questions. Stop asking questions and just go to your point, buddy. Right? That's why you keep getting interrupted. Don't ask questions and let's see what your point is.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
the ultimate point. Go to the bottom line. What's your bottom line argument?
Okay, unless we can get to a point where we agree on the steps we've gotten up until that point, there's not really much point in making it.
That's why this argument's gone on for so long, because we can't agree on those things.
So we were agreeing.
Okay, guys,
until the point.
the problem with that is you're saying give us the answer to the math problem without showing us the math. It's 4, and then he doesn't show you 2 plus 2, and so you have no idea if 4 means anything.
To Santiago work.
Yeah, distance over time doesn't prove shape. Like, if a flight goes from one place to another and takes a certain amount of time, then it does that over a flat plane. That's just all there is to it.
That's cool. We can try this another day. It has been fun. I wish you all a wonderful afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is on this flat plane or globe or whatever you think it is. But yeah, everyone stay safe. Interesting times in the world indeed. And yeah, we'll pick this up another day.
Certainly is.
I guarantee you when he comes back, if he ever has a conversation, he's an NPC. He's going to talk about flight flaps. That's all he's going to do. He's going to try and bring it to flight flaps. That's why he's making the map.
Right the hand. He's trained, man. And you can tell by his use of language, the we.
Oh, here we go with your freaking
Shut
conspiracy.
Excuse me.
It's not Carlos, idiot. I'm going to start calling you idiot if you keep calling me Carlos, okay, Pete?
He's a racist, and as far as he's
I've been
concerned,
respectful to you, and if you want to know my name, just ask me, okay?
Shut up, Brenda.
Hey,
to be
Rational
fair,
Aussie,
all Mexicans do sound the same, okay?
Only person here who's making personal attacks is Brenda, as usual.
Mexican Americans like to answer the telephone and say hello to the people on the other line.
Sorry, I hadn't quite
Mexican Americans
someone call for me?
like to go to night school and take Spanish and get a B.
Do you have a psychology degree, Rational
Where's
Aussie?
that from? Did you just make that up?
It's from Cheech and
Nope, I
Chong.
have 3, but none of them are in psychology.
What are your degrees in? Any related field?
Law.
Ah, there it is. Law. Fuck, I should have guessed that one.
There it is.
Have the face on a spinning ball, Earth is an exercise.
All right, if you guys give me like 10 minutes or something like that, I would like to just share something. It won't be very long and it's not very in depth or anything. I just want to show some stuff pertaining to my conversation the other night.
Yeah, dude, go for it.
But it'll be like 10 minutes from now.
All right.
And I'll be ready or whatever.
You sharing?
Not yet.
Are you sharing? Oh.
Yeah,
Not yet. Like about 10. Give me about 10 minutes, maybe 15, but I'm not sure if it'll even be that long.
Are you going to defend your honor, Bob Dole?
Defend my honor. I don't think I have anything to defend. Did you listen to the conversation? Nobody even really attacked me other than Brenda, and he just threw out like sea lion and dishonest or something like that. So I'm not really worried about that. I don't have to defend myself against accusations like that. So.
Well, let's see your presentation first. I obviously have a point to make. I did hear the presentation, and I'm well used to Brenda. Brenda's probably on $100,000 a year for what he does. Would that be fucking hilarious? But anyway, yeah, I look forward to that presentation somewhat. And maybe because you're new to this, you don't realize that you're dealing with seasoned snake oil salesmen who will peddle the same shit. They'd try it on every newcomer, right? So, yeah, we learn.
A new psychologist every week, right?
Do you read?
I haven't necessarily been in the shape of the Earth game very long, but I have been in the truth game for a long time.
Right. Well, what's psychology then? I mean, all of these principles that are given to us in general are based against a heliocentric, greater evolutionary backdrop, right? Everything is influenced by it. This is why we have to decide if there is an intent to deceive. And if we do decide that there is an intent to deceive, we have to decide if it's all just a big fucking piss take, like NASA are doing. They're showing us the obvious stuff just to piss us off and rile us up, ultimately knowing that we're defeated. Or is it greater than the piss take? Is there a greater message to be portrayed? That's what we have to decide as individuals.
I think the Tesla Roadster was definitely a rub.
If there's an intent to deceive,
Brenda wants to say something.
If there's an intent to deceive, do you think you can find out the truth anyway?
I do. I think the truth was. I don't think humans have the ability to completely hide truth.
Creator is back in play, Brenda. It's who are we, right? Who is our brain?
Revelation.
So the point. So then, the intent to deceive would be irrelevant, then, wouldn't it?
No, it would be part of the game of life, coming to realization, the true nature of things, the true nature of our reality, the divided state of our reality, Brenda, male torn from female, self from self.
So,
Brenda,
if somebody lied to you and you found out, you wouldn't care.
Brenda, if there was an intent to deceive, what would be the motive?
What would be the motive? Is to find out the truth. If the goal is to find out the truth,
what would be the motive for the intent to deceive?
Excuse me, if the goal is to find out the truth, and we can find out the truth, even if there is an intention to deceive, then the intention to deceive is irrelevant.
Not if.
No, that's incorrect, Brenda.
No, that's not how that works.
Not at all.
That makes perfect sense.
Think of life like a video game, Brenda.
It does make
it makes perfect sense to a psychopath like you, right? You're a psychopath, so it makes perfect sense.
That's like saying if somebody tries to murder you and you murdered, then it will be relevant.
Why should you be sorry?
Yeah, if I want to know the truth and somebody's intention to deceive me, I can find out in spite of that, then their intention to deceive me is
Some
irrelevant.
people
What if
can.
life is like a
You
video
can't,
game,
Brenda.
And you make your way through the different layers? Ultimately, it was always written into the game that you solve the puzzle if you put your mind, your heart, your gut to a certain direction, right? And always understanding as well that we're greater than the video game. So it's a venture into an experience in duality. But I mean, have you considered this? Do you deny
Can I hold on? Can I ask Brenda a question?
Life is a video game. Brenda's stuck on character creation.
I'd like to ask Brenda a question just real quick. Brenda,
oh
if
man,
life is a video game, Brenda is Michelle Obama.
Brenda, I have a question, please. Can I ask you a question?
Obama,
Hold on, shush. Brenda, can you hear me? Can I ask you a question?
Brenda, can you hear me?
Okay. All right. So let's say you have a partner, and you find out that your partner has been lying to you, right? So you have discovered something of the truth, and you go on a hunt to unpack that truth. You discover more and more that the lies have been told to you. Are you telling me that you would have no interest in why your partner was lying to you?
I would want to know why, of course.
Then it does matter, Brenda. It does.
No, it doesn't. No,
okay, listen.
Let me explain.
Listen to me. No. Let me explain.
You're not going to let me explain.
No, I will.
You're not going to let me explain.
I will. Let me respond to you when you said no. Okay. The fact that you said yes shows that you're interested in the intent. Why would your lover, why would your partner for life lie to you? I'm going to tell you why. It's for control. They lie to you so they can control and manipulate you by that lie. Go ahead and defend it.
So the question was that I stated up front was if I want to know the truth. So I want to know the truth. I suspect that my partner has been lying to me. The fact that they are lying to me is irrelevant to whether or not I can discover that they are lying to me. And it's irrelevant to why they are lying to me.
And you only know the truth via the lie, Brenda. Only truly know the truth via the lie.
I just told you, I want to know the truth. I suspect my partner is lying to me. Whether or not they are lying to me doesn't matter because I can find out.
Yes, it does.
Whether or not.
Travis, Brenda has never asked herself. Brenda has never asked herself why ever.
One more reason why he should not even be in here.
I do all the time.
But if you didn't consider the lie,
he doesn't think there's a problem with lying in and of itself.
No, if you didn't consider the lie, you wouldn't have come to the truth. It's only via the lie that you ultimately, in Travis's scenario, you came to the truth, right?
So the point is,
I think she's saying, yes.
I suspect
she's saying you can find out the truth no matter if somebody's lying to you or not. She kind of is actually right.
Yes.
The truth is always there.
That they lied to you, but
that's not what he's saying. He's saying that it's irrelevant that you're being lied to.
Yes, Paige is
correct. It's still an awful thing that they've lied to you, and that should matter to you, and you should want to know why they lied to you.
Absolutely correct.
But it is irrelevant to actually finding out the truth. So she is right.
Let me ask you then this.
That's all I was saying.
Brenda.
That's all I was saying.
Oh God, Peter.
Let me ask you this, Brenda. Let me ask you this, Brenda.
The only way we
Let me ask you.
Then is by neglecting the
Brenda.
lie, right?
Brenda, would it make any difference if the Earth was flat or round?
It would make a difference. Of course, it would make a difference.
Why?
Airplane flights, all kinds of things in day-to-day world.
No. Oh, sorry.
I think you meant personally, like to you.
Yeah, personally. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't change. It
would make a difference because I want to know.
If they work now and they find out the Earth has always been flat, then it wouldn't change. It would mean that they've always been working on the flat plane.
No.
So now the lie does matter? So when it comes to the Earth,
of knowing the truth, the consequences of knowing the truth would matter, of course.
Yeah, so you found out you've been lied to all your life about the shape and nature of your home, ultimately leading to the shape and nature of yourself,
you
Brenda.
See,
you're an atheist, right? You believe in evolution, right, Brenda? I don't think about because of someone called Aristarchus of Samos.
I don't have your relation to the truth, that the one that you did, which is your relation to the truth is that truth is given to you.
You have a relationship with the truth, Brenda?
I think this, yes.
Truth is written in our
I
hearts,
think truth is discovered. No, truth is discovered.
So like your distant cousin who you disowned a long time ago, or what?
The given to you and discovered would be the same thing.
No, they're
you
not
didn't
the same.
have it. You didn't have it.
You deny a higher power, Brenda.
Didn't have it.
They're not the same. They're not the same
really,
thing.
Brenda. You know well, right? You know well, Brenda.
So they're not the same thing.
That's why you decided to be a transgender.
The processes are different.
By nature, we are divided
Brenda,
male and female.
So
Brenda, the processes are different on how you get to the truth. But if both of them arrive at the truth,
I don't think
it's irrelevant.
I don't think that truth is like something that is given to you by other people. I think truth is something you discover on your own.
No, Brenda, true. It is.
Kind of agree
it's
with
simple.
that. Everyone has to find it for themselves.
No, the truth. It doesn't matter if you like it or not, if you discover it or no. The truth is there. It isn't accepted.
The truth is the truth, no matter whether you find it or not.
Right.
How do you know when you found
But it's up to you to find it, though, for yourself.
Absolutely,
I can't tell Brenda what's true. She can't tell me what's true. Like,
well, I can.
I can. You don't have to.
That's true to you.
But when you say find it for
that's not true.
yourself,
That's not the case, because truth isn't subjective; it's objective.
yeah, but when you
So I
say
can
find
tell
it
you.
for
that's
yourself,
true, Brenda.
you say find it for yourself. Where is that final intuition that says?
Hang on. Let Brenda tell me one thing.
This is the truth.
Come on, Brenda. Tell me one thing that's true.
Jaffe was talking.
Yeah, I said by the time
I'll tell you one thing that is true. Objective.
Guys, hold on. You guys, listen. I don't know how much of a delay there is, but Jaffe's been trying to talk. So
by the time you discover the truth, and you're the one coming to that own conclusion, you're giving that truth to yourself. At that moment, you're saying, "I'm accepting this one. I've discovered this," and you're claiming this upon pride or well knowledge or whatever you assume it on at the time. Whatever you assume it is
I would never
at the
decide
time.
the truth on pride.
Brenda, can I finish? I'm almost done. I promise. Whenever you find that at the time, you're confiding in yourself that you're correct. So you're giving it to yourself. So whether you're discovering it or you're giving it, at the end of that moment when you finally say this is the truth, it's the same thing.
No, I disagree with all of that. I disagree with all of that. Truth is not something that you give to yourself. Excuse me. I'm responding to him. I'm responding to him. I'm responding to him.
Oh no, let me just say this briefly. In order to come along the path to the truth, you had to leave behind things that you held true previously, which makes them the lie when you look back on it, not the truth.
No, that's also false. That's a lie.
Hey Brenda, if your partner, if you did find direct evidence that your partner was cheating on you,
if you did behind, because that's now a lie.
If you did find direct evidence that your partner was cheating on you, Brenda,
or not, not true.
Would you believe that?
I didn't hear anything.
Listen, it's crazy. I don't. Can you guys not hear Aaron talking? Both Pete and Paige are carrying on a conversation as if Aaron's not talking. I'm not trying to be rude. But Aaron,
no, I can hear Brenda and you.
Can Eric shout out? Say, hi, I'm Eric, so I can see if I can hear him.
Paige, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Shit! I can hear a tiny little voice now.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't hear
my mic.
Someone
my
mic
mic down?
the bar demands to be heard. How you doing, Aaron?
Hey, Pete. What's going on, brother?
I'm very sorry. I did not hear you at all.
There we go.
I'm very sorry.
That's okay, Paige. I just couldn't figure out why you guys were talking over Aaron.
Me neither, but it's okay. Yeah, it's no big deal. So I just had a question for Brenda. If you did find direct evidence in your search for truth that your partner was cheating on you or something like that, would you immediately believe that evidence, or would you question that? Right? Wouldn't you go into your mind and say?
Well, it depends on how strong the evidence is. So
direct evidence.
So if it's direct evidence, conclusive evidence, then I would come to a conclusion. If it's partial evidence, then I would probably look for more evidence, right?
What would you question? You wouldn't question anything? You wouldn't say, well, maybe that was left there by something else, or
I would
maybe
question the evidence. I would question it. I would question it. If I'm not sure, at some point the evidence
do the exact opposite and give your loved one the benefit of every doubt until eventually it became so overwhelming that your heart was broken and you lost everything.
Exactly, and this leads right into the flat Earth.
I was talking.
Travis, go ahead, Pete.
I was talking.
What I said is true.
So I was talking. So if I found evidence, then at some point the evidence would be overwhelming, and I would come up with a high degree of confidence that my partner was lying to me. Right? That's how evidence works. It's degrees of confidence.
So you would have come away from the lie, Brenda. What you previously held to be true, a new truth comes into place. But at the same time, it could transpire that all of these clues that led you to the inexorable conclusion were absolutely wrong. You picked them up the wrong way because you have something, it's a jealous thing you go back with your lover with, right? And, whatever, and ultimately, when you get to the ultimate truth, and of course that's happened in history, people have been wrong all the time, then you realize, well, at what stage did I ever possess the truth? Do I ever possess the truth from here on in?
All right, Bob Dole, are you ready to present?
Yeah. Let me just get into my thing here. I did something
that
I
took 4 hours last night, Bob Dole.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just lay that all at my feet. Like it was all me by myself. I was doing both sides of the conversation and everything.
You're grand, man. It wasn't even last night.
Aussie accent is just killer. All right. I did something nifty here. I got this cool laptop here, and it's signed in on a separate account that I just named Bob Dole Share, and I'm going to use it to just show. Okay, can you guys go ahead and just check that you can see that?
See what? Are you posting in the
chat? I'm sharing in Discord. I'm gonna play a bit of the video from the other night.
Yeah, we can see the YouTube page here in Discord. And remember, let me just say, characters are scripted, so it's our duty to get to the bottom of the characters we're dealing with.
Hey, Paige,
his name's different, Brenda. It's the Bob Dole Share, not the.
Am I better?
The real Bob Dole.
Paige, am I better for you?
Sorry. Oh no! God, I could hardly hear that.
Again, I turned it all the way up. Okay, no worries.
I can hear him fine,
wow,
so
yeah,
I don't know
really
what that
quiet.
is.
It might be me. It might be my headphones or something.
No problem.
Oh, that was a little bit louder.
No problem. I don't have what Randy screamed.
I'll go ahead.
He doesn't have it.
All right, let me see if I can hear this on my stream. Hold on. Do you guys hear anything on there? No, it doesn't seem like you do. Okay. How about now?
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm really close to the right point, so hold on.
If you want us to hear the audio, to me it sounded like you were 2 rooms away.
Yeah, same here. It was very faint.
We developed a tool to detect whether or not.
Here we go.
Based on good reasoning or a good guess as to what we think might be the case. Now, we don't have to unicorn the truth. So building a unicorn detecting device is pretty disingenuous when you're comparing.
I don't want to kill this for anybody, but I cannot hear the audio. If you want us to hear the audio, it's not coming in for me. Anybody else?
Yes, same for me.
Oh, yeah, that's specifically what I'm trying to get you guys to hear is the audio in one section of this video.
No,
Can nobody else?
Your audio's not coming through.
What is... Okay, all right. Let me try this then. Maybe it's because I have this stuff turned on in the... Okay, stop.
Just say what it is you have to say.
Well, all right. Yeah, you know what? Actually, let's just do that. If you go to right around 3 hours and 16 minutes, what you'll hear is a part of the conversation that we got to was about this thing called the Focal Pendulum. Okay, that's what they were bringing up. What they were talking about was a tool that was, because they were trying to offer something for showing the spin of the Earth. Okay, and what I basically said to them was, obviously, I wouldn't accept a tool designed to detect the shape of the Earth or the spin of the Earth or anything. Basically, a tool designed to do a thing isn't really a good way to prove reality. And the example I gave was, I could decide I was going to make a tool to detect a unicorn, but then I have to tell the tool what a unicorn is. And so whenever it detects those attributes, well, it hasn't proven the existence of the unicorn. It's just beeping at the attributes that I already assumed the unicorn had. Does that make sense? That's not logical?
Yes.
No, that makes no sense.
Yes, yes, it makes absolute sense.
Absolutely, yes, Brenda.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Brenda.
All right.
So
leave it to Brenda.
So Bob Dole,
we know
Bob
what
Dole,
she's
excuse
programmed.
me. So Bob Dole, you won't accept a ruler which is designed to measure inches, will you?
Wrong. You're
I
comparing.
will not accept a ruler to show absolute reality. No. I will accept a ruler if me and my friend agree that we're going to use a ruler, then that's fine.
That's just a straw man. I'm not talking about absolute reality. You said you would not accept an instrument that's designed to show the thing it's used for, right?
No,
right, to
no,
prove
this
reality.
is apples and oranges. This is apples
This
and
is
oranges.
what I specified. I specified to prove reality. I will not accept a tool designed to show a thing. Okay? Listen, even if I didn't say that, I'm telling you now, that's what I meant. Okay? That's what I'm saying.
What are rulers designed to show?
They're not designed to show things. They're designed to measure
yes,
things.
Yes, they are. Yes, they're designed to measure
You're
length.
comparing a different thing.
Abstract concept, Brenda. No, it's not the same thing.
Length is real.
Brenda, no.
No, it's not. It's a concept. It's an agreed upon standard, and we could change it. At any time that we wanted to, we could say an inch is way bigger or way smaller, and we would be right as a human race.
Yeah, we made it
It is completely up to us what an inch means, or what a meter means, or what a mile is.
Yes, but my 6 foot length of 2x4 would still be 6 foot long.
Unless we decided that feet meant something else, and then it's not anymore.
No, it would still be 6 foot long.
Okay, that's fine. Your opinion on the matter isn't really going to mess with it, okay?
It's not an opinion. It's an objective fact.
Brenda,
anybody who accepts the fact that the tool designed to show the thing before you've proven the thing is a problem.
You're saying that you won't accept rulers which are designed to measure length.
Yes, I am saying that. Yes, I will not accept a ruler to show me reality.
You won't accept rulers because they're designed to show length.
Yes,
right. So
yes, absolutely. I'm saying
that that's not logical.
Bob,
okay.
don't get dragged
All right, now we know what you think about it. We know what the others think about it. We can move on. Okay. So what was said to me in the video that I was going to try and show you that part. Basically, what they were saying was that that the thing that they're going to give me a link to, it wasn't designed for this purpose. It was designed independently of the concept of showing the rotation of the Earth. Okay. And so I decided, well, okay, I'll look at it, because obviously that's important. If they have a thing that was designed independently of showing the rotation of the Earth, and somehow they use it to show the rotation of the Earth, that's a big deal. Okay, that's a really important thing.
No, it actually isn't. It actually isn't.
Okay, Brenda, you need to stop. Brenda.
Yeah, come on, Brenda.
So I went to the link. Okay, in the first sentence of the main article. The Focal Pendulum, or Foucault's pendulum, is a simple device named after French physicist Léon Foucault and conceived as an experiment to demonstrate the Earth's rotation.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Okay,
easy,
so
Brenda,
the thing that they assured me it was not, it literally is described as in the first sentence of the main article, okay?
Yeah, so he was mistaken.
Taking just that information that we have, if someone could serve or mute Brenda, that'd be great, because she's just going to interrupt me, and I'm trying to make a point, okay?
I would love to hear your point.
From the information that we have about the conversation I had with them, which was going mostly peacefully, and they assured me that the thing was not designed with that concept in mind, and then I go to their website, their link, and within the first sentence of the main article, it says this exactly the thing I was assured it wasn't. Okay? Sitting here now, can anyone give me a good reason why I would continue to converse with them without them first apologizing and telling me they were wrong and they're going to look into it more?
What device
So
are you
I
talking
would say
about?
that he made an innocent mistake.
Okay.
What device are you talking about?
As far as our conversation is concerned, it is not an innocent mistake. It is a colossal mistake because the argument that they were trying to make is that the Earth rotates. That's what most of our conversation was talking about, and they were apparently basing it, at least in part, off of something that they assured me it wasn't when it absolutely was.
We showed them years ago the Focal Pendulum isn't.
Yes, they were wrong.
Can show the
And
rotation.
all I'm saying is that if they were wrong about that, which I clearly showed, it's obviously they were wrong. I would expect them to apologize for that and indicate they're going to look into it and change their minds on it before I start taking other claims of theirs seriously.
So they're just going to say it was an innocent mistake and they didn't realize it. And so what does this change? It doesn't change anything.
Okay. Are they going to admit that they were wrong and that they will change their mind on it and they won't tell other people that same information?
Bob, if you're looking for positive, like
something that shows your
confirmation, you're not going to find it.
Yeah, the Focal Pendulum conclusively proves that the Earth rotates. Yes.
Shut up.
It literally
Brenda,
can't do that based on the
Doesn't
sentence I just read. It cannot.
It to prove.
It absolutely does prove it. Yeah.
I thought that was a reasonable expectation for me, but that's fine if you disagree. I just wanted to show a couple more things. I decided to go ahead and continue reading anyway, okay? Even though in the first sentence it obviously isn't what they said it was. I decided to keep reading anyway, okay?
Bob,
and if you
what the Focal Pendulum shows is a concept called rigidity in space, right?
Because it's in space, right, Austin?
I'm getting to that.
It's in space, right? Yeah.
You mean a gyroscope?
So you can claim that it's meant to do A, B, or C, but the fact is something that exhibits rigidity in space on a globe Earth also shows that the globe Earth is moving, right?
Yeah, I'm not the one making the claim.
It doesn't need to be made for the express purpose of measuring motion of an Earth, right? It could be. It can be used to demonstrate motion on anything that's moving.
I'm not making the claim that it was made for purpose. The article is making that claim. The thing they pointed me to.
Okay, all it's depicting is a certain concept of physics, right? That's all.
A concept, okay.
Right.
A concept.
So I kept reading, even though what?
I was going to ask Negator, what concept does it depict?
I just said it like 3 times.
Okay. Okay.
But it is connected to.
Okay. Hold on. I've never heard the Focal Pendulum associated with rigidity in space. So
this is a new argument that's just come up in the last couple of days.
Right.
I'm going, guys. I think I'm going to get to that right now.
Hold on, guys. Settle down. So, Negator, even though you've said it 3 times, it's new information to me. Can you please help me understand how the Focal Pendulum demonstrates rigidity in space?
Well,
I have a question.
Aaron, why would you do that, bro? Come on, man. I just asked the question. Just let him answer my question.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, I don't want to sandbag Bob Dole and Brenda's conversation, but if you like, I can link you
No. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Wow.
That is such bullshit. You jumped in. Hold on.
Yeah,
You jumped in. You jumped into Bob Dole's discussion to talk and to mention the fact that it demonstrates rigidity in space. Now, simply because you got somebody saying, "Can you please help me understand what you mean?" You're gonna deflect.
You kicked, right?
You're gonna deflect.
We're
think
all
that I
happy
can't?
to listen to you now, Meg.
Rigidity in space in what sense?
Because I'd like to know where you guys come up with this too, because I'd never heard it either.
You're
in only
fucking
one
passive-aggressive psychopath. Just answer the fucking question.
I mean, are you?
Do it, bro.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I'm serious. You're a fucking psychopath. Answer the fucking question.
Nobody has ever explained to you the concept.
Fuckface! I said this already. Fuckface! Listen to me.
Oh, okay.
Why are you questioning me right now? I said to you, I have never. I have never. Okay, then why are you questioning me?
Well, because do you know what sea lion is? You heard of that?
Actually, no. I've always wondered what the fuck that statement means. So go ahead.
It's where you don't actually want to know what someone has to say. You just want to.
You'd actually have to be inside my fucking head.
Right.
Something. That this is your passive aggressive psychopathy. I am not sea lioning you. I'm asking you a fucking question.
Well, if you have ever had anybody explain to you why a focal pendulum does what it does, the concept of rigidity in space would have come up, or would have been the basis for what it is. So why do you think it does what it does?
No way.
Bro,
no way.
Why don't you answer the fucking question? Why don't you answer the question? That's it. Answer the fucking question.
Nick, just say I'm not sure. I just heard that's what it does.
I do.
But that's okay.
I do. What he wants to do is just have me waste my time explaining it.
You jumped in. You jumped in. You jumped in.
No, we've never heard that explanation.
Out of this call. Get the
I've
fuck
never heard anyone
out
say
of this
anything about
call.
rigidity in
You are
space
absolutely a psychopath.
I understand what you mean.
Do you not
This guy is a top. This guy's a top level. This guy is a top level gaslighting, passive aggressive psychopath.
Is there any way conversation tactics? He doesn't.
No, I'm not.
I mean, do you actually want to know?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I'm really, I do not understand how it does that. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. I heard somebody, might have even been you, mentioned it a couple of days ago. And it's actually been stuck in my head. I've been thinking, how does it have rigidity in space when it's attached to the Earth? And so if you can explain, I would really appreciate it.
Well, rigidity in space means that. Well, let me back up. Do y'all know what rigidity in space means?
That it can.
Yes, I associate. I associate that concept with a gyroscope.
Okay.
It maintains rigidity in space.
And why does it maintain rigidity in space?
Because it's not attached to the reference frame.
Yeah, and the middle thing can move. But
so gyroscopes hover in place. They're not suspended.
No, don't change the subject. We're talking about the pendulum. How does that do that?
Well, no, because like 3 of you just claimed that it wasn't attached to anything. Do you honestly believe that?
No, that was one person. Aaron said that. Okay, just answer the fucking question, dude.
So the same concept that keeps that gyroscope on one plane, spinning on one plane, is identical to what keeps the focal pendulum's weight swinging back and forth along one plane. Right?
Cool. So you can show me a gyroscope. You can show me a gyroscope processing. You can show me a gyroscope processing then also with your right next to your pendulum.
Do you want me to answer his question or your question?
Go first with him and then me next.
Oh, you next? Okay. I don't know, Bob, Bill, do you feel offended that we changed topics and you're not talking anymore?
I thought the information that I found was kind of interesting. It's not going to take me very long to get through the rest of it.
Well, that's it. When you release the weight, due to conservation of momentum, it wants to swing along the same plane it started in, the same way the gyroscope spins along the same plane that it began in. And in the same concept as a gyroscope, that plane, to any given observer, changes relative to the Earth around him. That's why it precesses.
No, it doesn't.
It precesses.
No.
It precesses
Hold on.
Let it go.
Hey, hold on.
You cannot let it go on an absolutely straight line, or the drag can make it.
Yes, you can.
Process.
Does this pendulum?
No, you cannot.
Okay, well,
no, you cannot.
Settle down, Carlos. Settle down there.
No, silence here. Go ahead and tell me.
You son of a bitch! You stop calling me Carlos, you piece of shit.
Who said that?
Pendulum. Does this pendulum process 360 degrees? Does it do that?
Understand that.
Yeah, Brenda, do you want to take it back? I'm sorry, I took over.
Does the pendulum process 360?
Brenda.
Huh?
I don't know. Want to take it back over?
Does the real Bob Dole want to continue?
You're passing the baton.
Does the real Bob Dole want to continue?
That baton turns out to be a dildo.
My thing wasn't a conversation with anyone in particular. I was just presenting some stuff. That's all.
What did you discover about Foucault's pendulum?
So yeah, if we're ready to continue, I decided to continue reading a little bit about it, and I got to the explanation of mechanics. And it said at either the geographic North Pole or geographic South Pole, as I have it on the screen here, the plane of oscillation of a pendulum remains fixed relative to the distant masses of the universe, while Earth rotates underneath it, taking one sidereal day to complete a rotation. So that phrase, distant masses of the universe, seemed strange and or interesting. So I decided to go ahead and just look at what that was, and that's apparently Mach's principle. Okay.
No.
And right away, in the first sentence, it says, in theoretical
nothing to do
physics.
With it. Mach's principle
The link is right from the article that I was given by whoever posted it the other night. Mach's principle is it's linked right from that article. It goes right into this. You click on it, and it goes to this.
Because
are you watching the stream? Because I'll show you what happened.
On Discord.
On where?
On Discord,
if you in
little thing, press his little,
Discord,
thumbnail thingy.
go to Bob Dole sharing. It's I'm right on the top on my screen.
It's got
like I'm the very top one.
Oh, it's just changed now.
All right, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
yeah, there it is.
It's right here in the explanation of mechanics. The plane of oscillation, the pendulum remains fixed relative to the distant masses of the universe. You go into the distant masses of the universe, and this is where you end up. Mach's principle. That's exactly where it takes you.
Okay.
Go back. And then says, "Oh, I'll go back."
So distant masses, right? For number one, this is just a reference. All right, it's just a visual reference. All right, Mach's principle, and let me hang on one second.
I mean, this says explanation of mechanics.
I think that whenever
it says it's going to be doing.
He's about to correct Wikipedia, guys. Okay, be careful.
I think that
right?
I think that whenever you say mass, what was it? How is it going? What's it called?
It says the distant masses of the universe. That's what it says in the article.
You have to say it with like distant masses of the universe.
I haven't practiced my Bill Nye voice or anything, guys. Come on.
It says that there's a relation between distant stars and local inertial frames.
It's funny, Gleam is a Mach earther, right? He refuses to.
Listen, guys, what I'm sharing here, I am not attempting to prove the shape of the Earth with this, or that the Earth moves or doesn't move or anything. All I'm trying to do is just point out. I went to the link, and this is what I found on my path after checking out the link. I found that it says specifically it was designed to show the Earth's rotation.
No, listen, hold on. Listen, in case you have forgotten I think from what he said before, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? What I heard your criticism earlier was that this is basically circular reasoning. If the Earth if the Earth is in motion, we will see this. So then you create something
that shows that
will prove.
No, you create something that has the ability to see it if it's happening.
Okay, right, but you have but that doesn't. No. Again, that's circular reasoning. If the Earth is,
you simply need a tool that's capable of measuring it. That's the point. It needs to have the capability to. It doesn't necessarily mean that's all it does.
Okay, listen, hold on.
Okay, but why not?
So if I'm standing still, hold on. If I'm standing still, is the Earth moving underneath me? No, it's not. Guess what? The Focal pendulum is attached to the fucking Earth. It's the same thing.
And guess what happens due to rigidity in space?
The Earth is not moving underneath the Focal pendulum. Same thing.
Maybe your understanding of the context is not what it should be. It's not saying the Earth is flying by, spinning beneath it.
Maybe my ability to understand
what's going on is the plane that the pendulum is swinging on, right, is independent of the Earth below it, right? Now it does continue to swing.
Stammer and stutter. The Earth is not fucking moving underneath the Focal Pendulum, regardless of the plane.
Well, again, the plane is moving, right?
Because no, it's not. No.
So the plane is not moving. The plane of swing does not move when you swing a focal pendulum. It just swings in one line forever. Is that what you're telling me?
Circus moves.
The only way.
I thought you said it keeps rigidity in space. How is the plane moving?
Does.
I thought it was the Earth moving.
Listen to your double speak. Listen to your double speak. Hold on, real quick.
Now, Neg.
Hold on, real quick. Watch. This is your double speak. If it maintains rigidity in space, it ain't gonna process.
Yeah. Well, no, it processes because the Earth is moving.
Okay,
so you can watch them.
Are
and you can watch
an
them
imbecile.
process, right?
You're an imbecile.
I don't know why.
Typing away Goodo in the chat.
I don't know. I'm not typing. But like I said, you can watch them process. You can go do that yourself. It's been done.
Then
for years.
there's no rigidity in space, bro.
Exactly.
Why is that?
We're not saying they don't process. We're saying that
the procession necessarily requires that one of the two things is moving, right? Either
no. We're talking about
or the Earth is moving underneath.
Go back to what you began with, and that is rigidity in space. How does a Foucault pendulum demonstrate rigidity in space?
Well, why do Foucault pendulums precess?
Brenda, shut up.
That?
No,
shut up, Brenda. Brenda,
because of drag.
Wait your turn, Brenda. Wait your turn.
To do that.
No,
how are they made to do that? They're not. That's
no,
not true.
Okay, listen, can we go back, please? Brenda, there's no reason for you to jump in and deflect the conversation.
No,
please.
I just want you to
Negator.
explain how they...
I am not talking to you, Brenda.
I would really like to hear Negator's explanation.
Well, because the plane that it was released in, right, stays the same, but that plane, relative to the Earth below it, there's a differential in movement, right?
Right.
No.
It would be okay. So let me put it like this: if I put a pendulum,
what he's thinking.
Okay, let's do it like this. If we had a very large merry-go-round, right? Like I don't know, 50 feet. It doesn't even need to be 50 feet across. And we set up a focal pendulum just a big one, and we put a pendulum on top of the merry-go-round, right?
Sitting like so the frame of the pendulum's attached to the merry-go-round, but then there's something in the middle of it that's hanging the string with the ball on it that's keeping
back of a
it's like a gyroscope.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm standing on one end of I grab the metal weight, the ball, whatever you want of the pendulum. I walk to one side of the merry-go-round with that the weight in my hand, and I release it. It begins swinging in a singular plane. Now, when I when I begin to push that merry-go-round, do you think that the pendulum?
It's going to look like it.
Huh?
Yeah, it will look like it swings incrementally as the merry-go-round goes around. If you had like little pegs every centimeter or whatever, you could see it going.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is exactly the concept at hand here.
Except it's not, because we're not. Hold on.
So
go ahead.
So you're saying that the pendulum should be only work on the poles, right? On the south or no pole.
No. Well, hang on, Paige. Was that a sufficient description? Does that make more sense to you now?
To make me understand what you think is happening. Absolutely.
But we would need a demonstration of that.
Yeah, great.
Can you demonstrate that?
No, I'm just saying he explained it very well and nicely. Yeah.
Right. If it
that's all I wanted.
Momentum, 1 second, please. If it retains its angular momentum and moves into a separate space, right? Will it not tend to go off in a tangent at every point? Negative.
What do you mean?
Well, if something is on a reference frame, right? You're making a distinction between the pendulum and someone standing on Earth, right? So it leaves that reference frame. If it retains its angular momentum, will it not tend to go off in a tangent at every tangential point along its circular motion, right? As the Earth is traveling in circular motion. So it's after leaving that circular motion, right? Is that what you're saying? Rigidity in space.
when you say tangent, do you mean off from its original visual?
Yeah.
plane?
So you're on the roundabout, right? You're traveling around on the outside of the roundabout at high speed, and suddenly you let go. You travel off in a tangent, right? You retain the angular momentum, but you travel in a straight line because
he's
you've
talking about
left the reference
centrifugal
frame.
force.
I think, well, he's not, but I do think that is the physics you're describing. The physics here are very similar. I think
Right.
we're.
And your physics is involved with what you just said,
So
Paige, there having what did you say, on a roundabout with a pendulum attached to the roundabout looking onto
yeah,
it? Okay.
let me ask you a question. Has this ever been done as a demonstration? Because outside of that, even though Paige said, okay, this is my problem with these abstract concepts, you can explain something to me, and like Paige, I agree with Paige. I understood your explanation, but that doesn't mean the physical demons the physical demonstration is going to match your description. So has this ever been done?
Man, you sound like super confident in your position and a little on the aggressive side.
Has this ever been done?
And the fact that you got to repeat yourself and talk to me like that is a little disconcerting.
Don't worry about his tone.
You're a fucking professional at this. Okay,
I am,
hey, just answer my question. Answer my question. The reason why I'm repeating myself is because you're not answering the question.
Well, if you look in the chat, I just linked one. So
okay, I'm driving right now. All you can say, fuckface, is, "Hey, Travis, I put the link in the chat." Instead of being the passive-aggressive psychopath that you continue to demonstrate that you are.
Well, I mean, the thing here is when
he does seem very
you
calm,
talk, when you talk to people the way you do, it sort of invokes the response that I'm giving
I don't talk. No. I don't talk to Paige this way. I don't talk to Aaron this way.
Hey, Paige. So if you look in the general chat, I linked the video. If you want to go, if you want to take a look, and then
see the rotating frame.
Yeah, there you go. And then you can tell Travis or Nathan, whoever this is, that it is showing what we're describing.
Yeah, that's not the Earth, though.
Let me just say, that's not to say that there is no real effect. Remember, we're on a flat and a stationary surface, and something is traveling around us, right? There's an energy force. And back to, let me just say,
it's a reification fallacy.
Let me just say this, and I'm going to go then, please. And I'm going to continue listening. Please, Carlos, let me say this. Ether band.
Oh, hey!
Carlos, be quiet, Carlos.
Carlos, really, guys? Really?
Come on. Let me just say this.
Really?
Be
quiet,
Carlos.
Ether
band.
Be quiet,
really?
Carlos.
Pete.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you fucking serious now? Are you? My name is Victor, man. Or
Victor. Okay, I'll call you Victor from here on in. Let me just give one more Carlos in. All right, Carlos. Okay, how you doing, Victor? Sorry about that.
All right.
Listen, let me just say this before I go, right? Fucking forgotten the point. No, I'm off. Bye-bye.
All right, I just have a question for Negator. Negator.
And then I have a question after that.
Okay, it's a very simple question. I'm driving. You said that there's a link. My question to you is, does the link show a roundabout with a pendulum at the axis?
Yep.
Okay,
and that's
thank
why
you.
That's why I asked Paige to look at it so that she can then tell you that, yep, what I described is what's happening.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would ask is, on that merry-go-round, when I attach the frame to the merry-go-round, if I then spin the merry-go-round first without touching the string that's hanging down with the ball on it, what's going to happen to the ball?
I think.
Will that just stay?
I think if you have somebody get on the roundabout and they pull the weight back to one side and then someone begins spinning it and you release it, because
no,
the
I'm saying
weight,
don't touch that at all.
No.
Like what would happen to the?
So don't touch it.
It has to
spin
be
the
set off,
roundabout.
If it was just a plumb bob. Yeah, if it was just a plumb bob at 90 degrees.
Yeah, like it
I have a question.
Have the ability to start swinging because of the because you've turned it, not that it's swinging because you've pulled it back and let it go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a question.
No, she just asked a question. All right, let her.
Hold on, Victor. Hold on, Victor.
Carlos.
All right.
Carlos has the question. Carlos has a question.
Brenda, if you want, I can be disrespectful to you too. Okay.
I'm just. This is out of love. I'm just gently.
No.
No.
You know that it's upsetting him.
I'll take
that.
it as you say. I'll take it as you say. Okay, that's all right.
So Paige, I think that as long as the weight were centered, that it wouldn't do anything.
It wouldn't do anything. Okay.
Yeah.
It would just hang there.
Yeah, and if it were not
like
centered,
those things that you have on your desk where you lift one back and it hits that one, and then it goes dug 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 and makes the one at the other end go flying off. You have to actually pull it up and let it go. It won't just start doing that on its own.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Thank you.
Now, can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
Will that pendulum have a procedure before you spin it?
Is the pendulum swinging?
Yes.
If it's
without
large,
you before you spin the roundabout.
Will it precess? Is that what you're asking me? I mean, if you're discounting precession caused by motion of the Earth, then no.
No. I'm asking. No, I'm asking you if it. No, let's say you put the pendulum on top of the roundabout, and you don't spin it yet, but you put the pendulum to swing. Mm-hmm. Would it have a how you call that procedure?
Precession.
Precession. Would it have that?
I mean, it would have that because of Earth rotation. But if you assumed, like, if like in your theoretical situation, if we were on an Earth that was not spinning, then no, it wouldn't precess.
But this is a unfalsifiable thing, right?
Why?
No, this is falsifiable.
Really? Can you show a pendulum without precession?
So it would be falsifiable if the pendulum didn't precess when the roundabout was spinning.
Well, that's the question. Why? Well, Brenda, the reason why I ask this question is, if the pendulum is processing before you swing the roundabout, then how do you know that the roundabout is causing it to swing also?
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it's much greater. In this one, you can see that the rate of precession is very large, and the jumps that it makes are very large. If you've ever seen a real focal pendulum, it takes hours for it to complete a circle around the area where the plane of its swinging back and forth. It takes hours.
But wouldn't that be due to the inertia of the pendulum? The reason why it swings proceeds faster?
Why?
What do you mean why?
No, it's due to the rate of rotation. The roundabout in the video that Negator linked to is rotating much faster than 15 degrees an hour.
Yeah, but that's because of the inertia of the pendulum, right?
No, it's because of the speed of rotation.
What happens to that roundabout when if they put a pendulum on a roundabout and spin the roundabout? Isn't the pendulum now spinning on the roundabout and spinning on the Earth as well?
Right. Yeah.
Yes, but the
two
are very different.
Is there a difference between what they show on the roundabout when it's spinning?
One is very small. One is a very small amount. 15 degrees an hour. 15 degrees of rotation in 1 hour is much smaller than the rotation rate that you can see in the video, which is like one rotation every, I don't know, minute or so.
Is that because of the size of the instrument, or because of
the size of the disc and the speed at which it's rotating there's a big difference.
Bottom line, Brenda, it cannot be falsifiable because we cannot have pendulums without precession.
It could be falsified.
No.
Okay.
If the pendulum didn't rotate, if it didn't
hold on, Zero.
That
Just
would
hold on,
falsify
Zero.
the whole thing. If it didn't precess, that would falsify it.
You guys are missing one important fundamental issue. when you set up a Focal pendulum on Earth, it's not at the center of axis.
It doesn't need to be.
Okay, then this demonstration is absolutely worthless because it's not even comparable to what the alleged spin of the Earth is doing.
Travis, that's why I asked them.
That's not true.
Travis,
that's not true.
Yes,
Travis,
it is.
That's why I asked them
Yes.
if they do.
I know,
this
Victor.
needs
I
to
know.
be done on the south or no?
No,
I know.
No, you can calculate your is it latitude or
latitude? Yeah.
Latitude. You can calculate your latitude using a pendulum.
Is that just a coincidence that you can do that? Anybody?
It is a construct, okay, right? So the question becomes this. Which
is it
came...
a coincidence?
Hold on.
Why is this? This is a big coincidence.
Okay,
though.
I'm answering your question. Okay, I'm answering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is one of those situations where the question must be asked. Which came first? The observation or the concept? Right? So pendulums don't happen in nature. So the concept is hold on.
Sure about that. I'm not.
I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah, I am. Shoes are not nature.
I think
pendulums are not nature.
I think that fruit swinging from a vine would be a pendulum.
Okay,
pendulum.
you show me a fucking fruit swinging from a vine.
We got a lot of fruits in here, but
like
whether you're swinging or not,
okay,
I don't know.
Okay. Just stop, Brenda. Just stop. Okay,
Yeah,
listen
that's
again, please. Again, this goes back to what I said at the very beginning. You are arguing in a circle. If the Earth is spinning, we will see precession in this creation that I just made. Okay? No.
We see precession, therefore.
We see precession, therefore that's if the Earth is spinning, we will see 15 degrees of rotation in the sky. We see 15 degrees of rotation in the sky. You simply see an observation and then you associate it with what you think is the cause. You can't isolate the cause and prove that the pendulum is precessing because the Earth is spinning.
We can't stop the Earth spinning.
Are you saying you can't isolate independent variables?
Okay, this again is another response from a psychopath. That is not what I said, and it was not an implication of what I said.
I think it was. I think you're trying to say that you can't isolate independent variables.
No, I did not.
When it comes to the Earth,
I said
Brenda,
in this situation, you cannot isolate the cause to demonstrate that the precession in this situation
variable is the cause. Independent variables are the cause. You're saying you can't
isolate Brenda, don't be dishonest. Brenda, don't be dishonest. We're talking about the Earth spinning. You cannot isolate the spinning of Earth. Come on, be honest. Don't do this shit.
In a scientific experiment, the independent variable is the cause. Travis is saying you can't isolate.
Yeah, you cannot insulate the spinning of Earth, idiot.
Why can't you?
How do you isolate it?
You can't stop the Earth
spinning.
You
can't.
Okay. So, but what
this is the
what would
same
you
as what I was
do
saying to George
with an
Rumpus
experiment?
The other day.
How would you? How are you telling us the experiment should be conducted?
I would actually have to have an observation, that I see in nature, and I try to. Okay, listen, hold on, and I try to determine the cause. Now, if I think I see Y effect, and I think X is the cause, if I can isolate X and stop X from happening, and Y still happens, then X isn't the cause.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't stop the Earth from spinning.
Hang on, Travis.
So
I'll give him an example.
Let's say you did stop the Earth from spinning. What do you do now? Like, how do you go forward with the experiment?
La land.
All right, but it sounds like you're postulating we should do something, and we want to know what that thing is we should do. So what should we do if the Earth stops spinning? What do we do with the experiment now?
You need to prove the Earth is spinning. You need to prove the Earth is spinning.
And how do you do that if you're telling me the only way I can do that is if I
don't make the claim that I'm not making the claim that the Earth is spinning. That's your job.
No, well, it's as if you're asking me to prove to you that cows exist, and I show you pictures of cows, and you tell me,
is your claim that
I don't
cows
know what
exist?
a cow looks like, but that's not a cow.
Is your claim that cows exist?
Is that an honest question?
Okay, you are the one misdirecting
you would
and
show him a
deflecting
real cow
this conversation.
That was a sea lion question. That was a sea lion question.
Yeah. The bottom line here is that you told me the only way this works is if I can stop the Earth from moving. So I'm asking you, how then, if you believe the only way to find out if we are moving is to first stop our motion, and you very well know that none of us can do that,
well, maybe
what
that's
next
why
can we do?
Scientists said
the next thing you stop worrying about the motion of the Earth and work on something else instead until we have the technology.
The next thing you can.
Well, what technology would be suitable for you? Because it sounds like we're just going to keep, going down this path.
This is absolutely insane. This guy is trying to reverse the burden.
Okay,
this guy's trying to reverse the burden back. No. This is not our job. This is not our job. We're telling you that hold on. I'm sorry, Paige. Hold on real quick, Paige. I'm sorry. Hold on. We are telling you that in an experiment, the observation is Y. The cause, hypothetically, is X. If I can isolate X, it is no longer the cause.
How do you isolate it?
Okay.
Please explain what you mean by that.
No. You know what I mean.
No, I want you to tell me what you mean, because I don't know what you mean. Now, a second ago, or first you questioned Rigidian space as a concept, how it applies to this. Once we talked about that, we moved on to the next. Then you questioned whether this phenomenon actually happens, and I showed you it actually happens.
It actually, no, I haven't watched it yet.
So I don't know where else we can go.
Okay, listen to me, please. Listen to me, please, Negator. I have not watched your link.
You're just being a contrarian
Negator,
for the sake of being
Negator,
a contrarian.
No, not
none of the points you've raised have been cogent.
Stop talking. I have not watched the video yet, so I am not conceding that you have proven anything. Okay?
Paige, did that video display what I described?
Oh, sorry, I haven't actually gone in and watched it yet. I was going to do that when when I'm not having other people's voices in my head and I can concentrate on it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Has anybody else looked at this video, Alex? You can just click the play button and watch it work.
Yeah, I did. It was great.
There you go. Brenda says it works.
But I also can
that
understand
doesn't mean it proves. That doesn't mean it proves what you're saying.
Yeah.
It displays a concept that you at first had a problem with.
Hang on. Because
and then you're going to reificate on Earth?
About this the other day. He said that the weights of things at different latitudes proves Earth rotation. And I said to him, well, to actually prove that it is rotation that's causing that, you would need to stay at the same spot, change your weights, and stop the Earth spin and see if the effect is the same or different. And he conceded that, yes, to actually 100% prove it, you would need to be able to control the spin.
Which means it's non-falsifiable.
No, it just means you find another way to do it. And that the assertion that we need to stop so that's almost like saying to prove you're in a moving car, you first need to stop the car. And there's a number of ways you can prove you're in a moving car without stopping the car.
You're just assuming the car's moving.
Yeah, and this again, this is
a red herring.
You're assigning everything.
The car's moving is the hypothesis. That's the hypothesis.
Why don't we just stay to the topic? Don't change the topic.
No, you don't have to stop the car to prove the hypothesis.
This is misdirection, everybody. You're being misdirected. You are being misdirected.
There's a number of ways. There'd be a number of ways to show that the car you're in is moving or not.
Go back to the original conversation. This is misdirection.
No, it's displaying a concept.
No, it's a completely different concept. Stay to the one. We don't.
Can I make a point, please?
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay. It stands to reason that if the pendulum remains fixed relative to the distant masses of the universe, while Earth rotates underneath it, and that's how we are able to detect because of the way it precesses, it stands to reason then that we can make the pendulum and never touch it, and eventually we will be able to watch it move as the Earth rotates. Because it
yeah,
stands.
that's why I asked if,
Why is that?
it would move.
Why does it stand to reason?
You're saying that it affects the pendulum.
What affects the
even
pendulum?
Even though it has that rigidity in space, like you said, you're saying it affects the pendulum after you swing it. That means it affects the pendulum even if you don't swing it, because you're assuming we're on a rotating Earth, and that's why it's precessing. So that means it'll be affecting that pendulum whether we touch the pendulum or not, and that means eventually it should move without anyone touching it, because the Earth is rotating.
No.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm stuck. That if the Earth's rotating,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Bob.
It should deviate.
Let me say it. Let me say this.
I think
If you put that
where I'm stuck.
All right, go ahead,
if
Victor.
you put that, if you put that pendulum on that merry-go-round and you don't touch the pendulum and you swing the merry-go-round, that pendulum is gonna move.
No, it
won't. No, it won't.
Yeah, how much you want to
bet? Okay, look. No. Stop, everybody. Okay, look. What Negator just said. Hold on. What Negator just said. Not if it's in the center. Okay. That is not what happens on the Earth. When you set up a pendulum on Earth, it is not at the center of axis. It is not the same.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's not.
And you said it didn't have to be either, and now you're saying that it does for it not to move.
No, that's because when you spin a merry-go-round, you're doing it ridiculously fast, and you're incorporating lots of centrifugal force that makes the pendulum do other things. The pendulum's still going to swing back and forth.
Now we have different forces,
ovular shape. Well,
exactly.
I think we all acknowledge that centrifugal force exists.
So therefore, I told you. Therefore, you're exempt. Listen.
Swinging, even
therefore, you're exempt on the merry-go-round. Does not apply.
Then you need to compare the relative strength of that centrifugal force, right? If you're spinning a merry-go-round at one rotation every 2 seconds, I don't know how many tens of thousands of times faster that is than one rotation every 24 hours. But that's why you're going to see a huge deviation on the merry-go-round.
It doesn't matter. There should be some deviation.
Well, there is, and it's 0.03 degrees, Bob Dole, and you can establish that by measuring objects at different latitudes. Right?
Bob's point is right. Hold on. Bob's point is right, because if you keep spinning that merry-go-round one rotation per 3 hours, eventually you're gonna have movement on that pendulum.
No,
you will.
Conservation. There's conservation laws that are implied here because there's an exchange of momentum between the pendulum and the Earth. If you leave it alone and you don't move it, there is no.
There shouldn't be. It has rigidity in space as claimed.
Don't touch it because it's the Earth. It's supposed to be giving the pendulum the ability to do that. So why is the Earth all of a sudden stopping giving it that ability if you don't swing it? I think that's where I'm having trouble.
How did you know? Right? How did you know? Hold on. How did you?
Momentum. It has no momentum when it's not swinging.
Okay, hold on. Here's the question, though.
But it's getting the momentum from the Earth.
Right. How did you know?
You're right in that it is moving with the Earth, and there is a certain amount of momentum that goes with it. Sure, but it's very little. The only way you'd see this is if you
measurable.
I mean, you can measure the centrifugal difference in weight due to centrifugal force at different latitudes, which is what you're describing.
We have centrifugal forces.
If that gives the difference, why are you then assuming that it's Earth rotation doing that?
Doing the precession?
Or doing the difference. Like if you said, well, you can measure the effect of the centrifugal forces and stuff. Well, then why are you adding on top the rotation is doing something?
Well, because the centrifugal force doesn't make things do anything different, but way less. All right, they're getting flung away from Earth.
Make anything do anything differently.
Force doesn't make anything way less.
Well, I mean, we measure things to way less at the closer you get to the equator.
Centrifugal force does not make anything way less.
Things way less at the equator, though.
Yeah.
Okay, the Earth is not spinning.
I mean, you can say that, but things still way less at the equator, where the centrifugal force is the most.
All right, that doesn't mean they're spinning.
Okay, let me back up. Let me clarify here. As you move south towards the equator, where centrifugal force is the most, you You gradually weigh less. The further north you go, you weigh more.
You would have to stop the Earth spinning.
Yeah, you
start.
Yeah, you have to prove the Earth is moving. You have to You're assuming the Earth is moving.
No, I'm just telling you what we observe.
No,
we
don't observe. You don't observe the Earth spinning.
No. What I said we observe is weighing less as you get closer to the equator.
That's begging the question.
And have you made sure it can't be anything else?
How is an observation begging the question?
Okay, your observation doesn't prove
because
anything.
you're attributing it to the spin of the Earth.
Well, no, I mean we can corroborate that later, but the observation itself happens. We know it happens, right? And if you guys want to explain why it happens,
explaining why just means you don't know. So if you're asking us to explain, that means you don't know. So all we have is things very different.
No. Mathematically, we can show you why.
You can explain it, but you can't prove that's what's happening because you can't stop the Earth spinning.
Show that it's happening.
No, we don't need to stop it.
Sorry, Brenda, what did you say?
You need to stop it.
Why?
Because that's the only way you can
Did
corroborate what you're saying.
Potential that it's happening.
If you stop the Earth, then the pendulum will not proceed. Like everything is solved to all your problems. But since you cannot do it, it's an unfalsifiable
so you
problem.
You don't have to stop the Earth because there's two forces acting.
You have to.
There's two forces acting on the bob of the pendulum. One is gravity.
Brenda.
The other is the Coriolis force.
Brenda.
Okay, Coriolis is not a force. Coriolis is an observation. It's an observation.
It's a pseudo force. It's a pseudo force. So
yes, it is not
a real
force.
No, that's not what pseudo means in this case. That's not what it means.
It's an effect.
Listen very carefully.
It's something that happens,
Coriolis,
right?
It's a visual effect.
Coriolis is a visual observation. It does not cause anything.
Yeah, the Coriolis force is real. It's real. It's a real.
It is not a force.
Yes, it is real.
Brenda.
Is it strong
an
enough?
Observation. It is not strong. It's an
not,
observation.
It doesn't do anything.
It's an observation.
The ball is still going
shit.
in a straight line. It just appears to turn. You know, it's not actually
but relative to us, the observer, there is a deviation. There's enough force to send the object in a different direction.
There's nothing.
It's an apparent.
Well, it depends
moving
on
it or changing its direction or anything.
Well, that's relative, Paige. That's like saying
no. That's where you're confused.
No. It's the same. It's the same concept as rigidity in space, right? From the gyro's point of view, it hasn't moved at all, but from us, the observer, it has.
Yes.
And
but
that weight.
Wait.
It's just that you're in a different reference frame, seeing it move.
Okay.
Hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean?
So let me put it to you like this, Paige. If that precessing ball moves, right? It's moving. It means it's applying force towards the air in one direction, right?
It. Oh, you mean the ball that you throw for the Coriolis? Or you're talking about Focals again?
Focals, yeah.
Yeah, you pulled it back and started it swinging.
Sure, but that precession is also... That's the force. It's moving... Well, the swinging is a force, yes. But the precession that happens means that ball is going a different direction against the atmosphere, right?
No. The thing underneath is moving. So that swinging pendulum isn't actually changing direction or doing anything different.
It is.
It's the thing underneath moving.
Oh, well then, I mean, we can totally agree that the Earth is doing the moving, but the bottom line is the observer sees it moving. And when we discuss things like this topic, we have to do it from relativistic points of view.
No, that's the problem. You're doing it from that.
Again, let me take this back again because I don't think I got to finish my point. The question becomes this.
He's on to relative motion now. Like, look at he's just jumping. He doesn't answer anything. How did you go from what you were talking about to relative motion?
We've been patiently answering all your questions.
He just deflects. He deflects with questions
they're
nonsense.
They're facts.
It's all based on...
Okay, Brenda agrees. That's how you know he's...
it's all fallacies, Brenda.
Agrees, not legit.
Okay, let's go back again.
Could you name the fallacy then?
Let's go back again real quick, please. this is all circular reasoning. This is all begging the question. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question real quick, please. One question. One question, please. How was it determined that swinging a heavy pendulum back and forth would demonstrate Earth spin or Earth rotation? How did they know that was going to happen?
Because those scientists knew Rigidian space is real.
Okay. You have not even remotely demonstrated
basic physical
your claim of rigidity in space.
Oh, well, I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
Because
well, that's because you haven't looked.
No. You can explain it right now, and you have not done it. You have not made any sense with your rigidity in space. It has all been rhetoric and word salad. Brenda. Brenda.
Travis.
Great. Go ahead, Brenda.
Yes, it's due to the conservation of momentum, which is a consequence of Newton's laws of motion. So they knew.
Okay, there is. Okay, what do you mean?
Therefore, they knew.
What do you mean? What do you mean by conservation of momentum?
I was worried I turned on my camera there.
That the bob would conserve its momentum as it swung out an arc.
Okay, all that means is that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you let go of the bob, hold on.
That's the wrong law. That's the wrong Newtonian law.
Brenda, please
okay,
let me
oh
hear
my
what
God.
I'm saying.
Okay,
please.
All I'm trying to say is what you just said. When you let go of the bob, it's going to maintain its line of
rigidity
momentum.
In space.
Yeah.
Rigidity in space.
Okay.
Rigidity in space. Yes.
Okay.
It's due to the conservation laws.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. When you have rigidity in space, there's no deviation from that line.
Mm-hmm. That's why we observe precession.
There's no precession.
Oh, well, it happens. So.
It's attached. Okay, you guys are not
rotating reference frame. Only on a non-rotating reference frame. On a rotating reference frame,
I think I understand what you're saying, Travis. Thank you. That's
Well, no, what Travis is saying is that we don't observe what we observe.
No,
you're a madman. Keep talking, madman.
Rigidity in space is like theoretical. It's not based on absolute fact or absolute truth.
Well,
here, let me.
There's nothing theoretical
about it. There's no force acting on it, making it do anything different. It's behaving
I'll just
exactly
the same all the time. Concerning the rigidity in space.
What reference frame?
In theoretical physics, particularly in discussions of gravitation theories, Mach's principle or Mach's conjecture is the name given by Einstein to an imprecise hypothesis often credited to the physicist and philosopher Ernst Mach. The purpose of the hypothesis was to attempt to explain how rotating objects maintain a frame of reference, blah, 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 blah. So we have theoretical physics, gravitation
that's
theories,
specifically about Mach's
conjecture, imprecise hypothesis.
Bob,
right.
That's talking
that's
specifically
exactly
about Mach's
when you
principle.
click on
no,
rigidity in space.
Everything you just read, all that conjecture business, that's specifically about Mach's principle, not about rigidity in space.
Then why is that what it goes to whenever you click on it from the article?
Goes to? No, it goes to that link when you click on distant masses of the universe.
Is that something separate from rigidity in space? I thought that was the same thing.
If you want to read about rigidity in space, then you need to read about rigidity in space.
To the distant masses of the universe. You're saying fixed relative to the distant masses of the universe is different than rigidity in space? Because that sounds like the same thing to me.
No. I know it sounds like the same thing to you, but it's not.
Okay, so my question then is, why did they not mention rigidity in space at all in the entire thing about this Focal pendulum, but they do mention fixed relative to the distant masses of the universe? Why did they not mention this thing that you say is apparently very important to the Focal pendulum?
Can you link me this again? This is Focal pendulum on Wiki.
Point.
Yeah, it's on Wikipedia. It seems weird that you would say this is so important, but then they don't mention it on here. They mention fixed relative to the distant masses of the universe. And it goes to Mach's principle.
Mm-hmm.
Which has, like 5 different instances of not actually proven reality in the first 2 sentences.
No, I agree Mach's principle is not proven in reality. It doesn't mean rigidity in space isn't. You can observe rigidity in space.
No, rigidity. No. Rigidity in space is the result of a manufactured mechanism, it is not a natural phenomenon.
It sure is.
Where? Show me.
You can construct a device that can
Fuck face. That's what I just fucking said.
Nature.
That's what I just said.
What did you just say?
Okay, listen to me.
Science is about
hold on,
Paige.
Hold on, Paige. Before anybody created Foucault's pendulum or a gyroscope, was there ever a demonstration of rigidity in space?
Planets.
So they assume.
Negator? Hello, negator. Hello.
Rigidity in space.
Hello, negator. Hello. Did the mic go bad, negator?
Please, Brenda, can you let me
I mean,
answer?
if it did, you would have just asked me another question that's already been answered.
No. Don't project on me. Don't project on me, you psychopath. Answer the fucking question.
I've answered your question so far, and you haven't come up with a cogent position or argument.
Okay, hold on, Paige. I just asked you another question. Did you answer that one?
I don't know. Were bicycle wheels invented before gyroscopes? Because they can display rigidity in space.
Okay. Before that.
So before bicycle wheels.
Yep.
So what sort of device is capable of depicting rigidity in space that would have been invented prior to bicycles and gyroscopes?
You're proving my point. Rigidity in space is not a natural phenomenon.
We observe it.
Where?
In gyroscopes and Focal pendulums.
Those are not natural phenomena.
Yeah,
it is.
Oh, okay.
Natural phenomenon.
So you're asking me whether they exist in nature? No, gyroscopes and Focal pendulums do not exist in nature. We agree on that.
No. Okay, fuck.
Right.
This guy. I did not ask you if Focal pendulums exist in nature. That is not what I asked. I'm asking you.
Well, how do you expect nature to depict rigidity in space?
I don't.
Well, it sounds like you're asking for that.
I think that's his point, that you can't show it happens unless you make a machine for that.
Okay. And? I mean, you can't observe internal combustion in nature, but if you build a car, you can, right?
Science
You're going to tell me that because engines don't exist in nature, that internal combustion is not possible?
Hold
on real quick.
An effect in nature. So if you don't see that effect in nature, but you create a man-made machine that
I just saw a shooting star.
Has that effect, then you've made it to do that.
Oh, so
you're not actually proving that's happening in nature. You know what I mean?
That was really cool. It was really low too.
Yeah, it's August.
We don't see internal combustion, you say, in nature?
No,
that's not what he said. Well, yeah, but
what are volcanoes, geysers, and all this stuff?
They're not internal combustion engines.
Oh, they're not internal combustions?
Is there an explosion that produces pressure that pushes pistons that generate
why they blow up
and rotate wheels?
Well, no. Hold on. Hold on. You ask where do we see internal combustion in nature? A volcano is internal combustion. That's because it builds pressure and then it releases, and it releases with a force.
Combustion internally.
Now, that's a demonstration of internal combustion in nature.
I just burped. That's internal combustion.
I think maybe you guys missed that I was being a bit more specific than just something exploding, right?
Well, that's internal combustion. It's the explosion, though.
Inside something.
Hold on. That's the internal combustion, the explosion. The mechanism applied to it, that's different thing.
Does the volcano grow wheels and drive away due to
the vehicle itself is not a principle.
The point. That's got nothing to do with internal combustion.
Internal combustion was your point, though. I give an example. Stop being a stupid person, bro.
Yeah, well, I did just say explosions, right? I could have said, do explosions happen in nature? Does pressure happen in nature due to explosions? But I didn't do that. I specifically went to internal combustion
is.
Because I am referencing internal combustion engines, which you guys should have picked up on, and those engines are attached to cars that do specific things, right?
Excuse me, when you go and read about internal combustion, does it mention tires? Fucking idiot.
Holler when that internal combustion makes the volcano drive away.
We're talking about the concept of internal combustion. I give you an example in nature.
I was referencing
that's a
internal
natural
combustion.
Pendulum. Can we get back to pendulums?
Sure.
Yeah, good idea.
I have something else that I was thinking about, if y'all care.
Go
ahead. Here, I'll go ahead and share this again. This is just an idea I had basically while I've been driving around recently, more than usual, and kind of looking out my windshield and looking at the sky and stuff like that. And I'll go ahead and share this, and let me know when you can see it.
Talking about the clouds?
Yeah, it's a picture of clouds and the ground and stuff like that. Okay. So I was thinking about this,
real.
and I haven't gone into a deep dive on research or anything. It was just like this thought that I had. Okay. So when we're talking about things like disappearing from the bottom up, we're dealing with the ground and looking out over the ground or looking out over, water or whatever. Okay. And we have to deal with whatever's below us coming up for whatever reason that it does that, and eventually blocking out the thing that we see, right? But we don't actually have that problem with the sky, or at least not as quickly or as easily do we have that problem because of how far up and over into the sky we can see, right? So it's so open that looking up and at an angle, you can actually see like many times more miles into the sky than you can just looking forward straight ahead of you. Does everyone agree with that? Okay.
Right.
So what I was thinking,
I don't understand half of that, but go ahead.
All he's saying, Brenda, is the ground you can see is within 3 miles or 4 miles, but the sky you can see is
if you look
100 miles. Like if they're a plane 100 miles away, you can see it.
If you look straight forward but then up at an angle, you'll see way farther into the sky or more of the sky than if you just look straight forward.
Sure, yeah, because Earth's in the way.
Okay, because the sky isn't blocking your vision as much as things like the ground does and stuff like that, right?
Well, yeah,
you're closer to the ground.
It's transparent, right?
Well, okay, so I think you guys are understanding what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah, the ground.
So you can see further.
The ground is opaque, and the sky is transparent.
And you can see more of the sky than you can of the ground. Okay, you're closer to the ground, and the ground will, for whatever reason, eventually cover things that you're trying to see. So
the sky is transparent. I get it.
So while looking at it and thinking about it, we have, if we're on a sphere, right, and the ground is curving, and we have an atmosphere and sky that is also curving to stay with the ground, which it's got to do if the atmosphere is moving along with the Earth as it spins and things, then it's keeping that shape also with the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that the sphere of the sky has to be bigger than the sphere of the Earth because it's above the Earth and still keeps its shape and goes around the Earth, right? So when we look out like this, if you notice on the picture, what we see with our eyes seems to be a step down, similar or exactly like what we would see in a hallway.
What do you mean
with like a set of lights on the walls and stuff, right? You see they step down in a way that you would notice in a hallway. The lights would do the same thing, right? If they were like hanging off the walls or whatever in a line.
The clouds that are closer to the horizon are farther away.
Right, and if you look at the lines I put on there, it looks like they step down, right?
Yeah, they're closer to the horizon because they're farther away.
If the sky had the spherical shape that's claimed, and it was bigger than the Earth, because it has to be to maintain that shape and still go around the Earth and maintain its height above the Earth, wouldn't like directly above us we would look up and see the clouds directly above us, and then as the clouds moved away, we would actually watch them curve off into the distance, and when they got to about right here, we should actually be looking at the cloud sideways right before it goes over the horizon. We should be looking directly at the bottom of a cloud.
I think no, you wouldn't be looking at the bottom of the cloud. You'd be looking at it at its side, right?
You would be looking like this close one right here. You would be looking at this part, looking directly back at you,
right,
horizontally.
Right. The ones
But
directly
instead,
overhead,
we have these step downs, just like a hallway.
Right. You see the underside of those that are closest to you, and you see the side of those that are furthest away. That's what we see.
Right. I'm saying that shouldn't happen on a sphere. The sphere should be
should
so large that it's bending around the Earth that we should see the bottom of the cloud right before it goes over the horizon.
No, you shouldn't.
That's
no,
correct.
that's wrong. You
yes,
shouldn't see the bottom
correct.
of the cloud.
Bob is correct.
No, that's not true.
Bob
He's
is
wrong.
correct.
Yeah, that's
yes.
right.
How so?
He's
Explain
not
it.
Wrong.
Why?
Because as they move off, they're curving around, so the bottom becomes more and more visible as they're going around the curve.
I mean, you need a pretty good telescope to see that, but you'd see the bottom of the cloud. Why do you think we see the bottoms of clouds underlit by the sun? For this very reason.
Perspective.
Because the sun is the light from the sun is physically coming from below
down the street. Light up the underside of my eaves because they're far enough away that the light is actually below my eaves, even though the light is actually higher in reality.
That's impossible if the light is above the eaves.
No, because it's so far down the street that it. Yeah.
No.
It's so far down the street that.
Right. If the light is above the eaves, it can't illuminate the underside.
The light is in reality higher, like measurement wise, but because it's so far down the street, its angular size has brought it so that it appears to be shorter than my eaves. So the light.
That's not how things work. That's not how perspective works. That's not how it works. Angular size just means it's how large it appears to you visually. Right? The angular size of a basketball close to your face is different than one that's 100 yards away. It's much smaller. It's just size. So underlit clouds illuminated.
Okay, here we go. If you look at my share screen, this is what I'm talking about.
Bob Dole.
What?
Sorry, everyone cut out before then.
The underside of clouds illuminated by the sun show that the sun is below the clouds.
But not in reality.
No, in
that's
reality.
What we observe in reality.
It must be.
It's 93 million miles away. How can it be below the clouds?
Because the Earth is sphere.
If you drew a straight
line. 93
93
million miles away. How can it be below the clouds?
Paige, it's the angle the light is coming in. If you were to draw a flat line, and you lined up this flat line with the bottom of those clouds, and you extended that flat line out into space, when the sun is setting, that flat line would be above the sun. That makes sense?
That's what I said. But the sun in reality is not below the clouds, is it? It's just perspective that's making it.
No. The sun is literally below the horizontal level of those clouds.
No, the sun is not closer to the Earth than clouds are.
No, it doesn't. No, I think you're misunderstanding the 3D here. It doesn't need to be closer to Earth to be below.
At night, the sun is under your feet.
That's why I'm saying in reality, it's not below the clouds. It's still the same distance away.
Yeah,
it's
distance.
Just
it's not
in
93 miles.
Wise, it looks like.
No, really is. It's not 93 million miles up. 93 million miles away. At night, it's under your feet. During the day, it's above your head.
Well, that's an assertion, buddy.
No, it's truth, but whatever.
No, it's an assertion.
No, yeah, that's not. It's.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
It's just an assertion.
Logically, what's the concept itself, Paige? I think something we're not explaining something right enough.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not explaining things right enough.
Let me put it like this: your vertical view of the sky from front to back is 180 degrees, right? Half a circle. Does that make sense?
Sorry, So
your,
looking straight up, straight down.
Half of the sun should also be arc. Size the clouds.
It does.
Half of the sun should be like giant arc.
It does, but Paige,
No, it goes straight. They've tracked it across the sky. It makes a straight line.
Oh, are you sure of that?
Yeah. Positive.
That would only be true.
If you mean what, like
on the equator during the equinox.
Oh well, I can't. Yeah, I don't know whether they were. Sorry, I don't know.
Go to
where
Google
they
and
were.
type in the word sun arc, and you're right. There is a
that
personal arc it makes. That's due to perspective.
Perspective isn't some magic, guys. It doesn't.
You're right. A sun arc is perspective.
But it does.
The definition of sun arc.
Yeah, perspective's amazing. But it
does, buddy.
Amazing shit.
It's not that. No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
No,
it's not
you got. This is where
it does some amazing. It has some amazing effects.
It actually does.
Well, it is complicated for you guys. It is complicated.
No,
you guys don't seem to understand. It
It's
is
actually not complicated.
Oh yeah,
it is.
we don't understand.
No,
that's where you
not
whole
complicated at all.
We don't understand.
So what's the argument here? Like, what do you want to talk about?
We're showing you something. What do you mean we don't understand?
You
don't understand.
I've got no proof that there are people upside down underneath my feet. I can understand how perspective can make something, that's moving further away from you start to drop towards the horizon.
We don't disagree on that, but the problem is we do disagree on how much, and mathematically, right? The math behind perspective is the problem
and my
for
I
you
have
guys.
a problem with the math behind R, because if light is refracted,
what are those?
Then they've made the refraction calculation from the R value, but they never were able to get the R value because the light was on that day was refracted, because it's refracted every day.
Paige, we
So
can
if you
get
had gone
R,
on a different day, you would have got a different R value.
we can get R from other ideas from circumference.
Yeah, but that doesn't change how they did it the first time, and they got the refraction calculation the first time from that R.
The first time we got it from circumference.
So I just linked a.
You can't get a circumference until you've measured the horizon. To measure the horizon, they measured the geometric horizon, which they don't see because the light's refracted. It's not a straight.
You don't have to measure the horizon to get circumference.
That's what they did.
No, but you don't have to get. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to measure the horizon. But you're wrong. They didn't. People have measured the circumference of the Earth.
Measured. Yeah, to get their refraction value. But they did. To get the refraction value, they measured to the geometric horizon and then calculated their refraction.
We get it from we get it from other ways. There's other ways.
That time they measured refracted light and said,
talking about
because it's refracted this much.
You're talking about Al-Biruni, right? Al-Biruni?
Yes.
Yeah. He got it by measuring the apparent horizon.
Well, then he didn't get geometry because it's apparent it moves.
He got it within degrees of error.
Well, how did he know what the degrees of error were when he hadn't measured it yet?
Well, he didn't know anything about refraction at 1,000 years ago. He didn't know anything.
Exactly.
Today we know. No, not exactly.
Exactly.
Today we know that it's just a degree of error.
Yeah, but your refraction now is all based on what he did then, which he couldn't have done because he was measuring an apparent horizon.
No.
Well, the refraction calculation hasn't changed. The R value hasn't changed.
There was no refraction calculation when Al-Biruni measured the dip angle. We've done that all since. It wasn't based off his work whatsoever.
And that's what I'm saying. If he was measuring refracted light and apparent horizon, he wasn't actually measuring the ball, the real, actual geometric horizon.
Right, there was a degree of error. It was a
but he had
degree
no
of
way
error.
of knowing what that degree of error was. And we've
That's
shown
true.
with the Black
That's
Swan
true.
that degree of error can be massive.
The Black Swan would have been a change in dip angle of 0.03 degrees. The amount from a mountaintop that you would see the dip angle change due to refraction is essentially nothing.
It's a huge difference between where a 6-foot observer should see the horizon on a ball a certain size compared to what the Black Swan shows. There's a huge difference.
He was on a mountain. He was on a mountain. He was on a mountain.
Plus, he was measuring the angle down to the horizon, not the distance.
Oh no, I was saying the Black Swan. Like, if the ball is a certain size, then at a certain height, the horizon should never be further than a certain distance. And if it is, then it's because something's happening with the light, it's being refracted or whatever. But they had no knowledge of that. They built their refraction calculations on the radius after they decided but if they had gone on a different day, they would have got a different radius value. Like if they had gone on the day that the Black Swan image shows, they would have said the Earth was way bigger.
The Black Swan was taken 1 foot above the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of refraction 1 foot above the water. He was on a mountain.
Exactly, and they didn't know what that refraction calculation was. They just said that was R.
So what it means is that there was very little difference between the geometric and the apparent horizon.
But they can't know that.
Well, he didn't know that.
Because it's apparent. Every day is different.
We know that now. We know that now, but he didn't know that at that time, 1,000 years ago. But we know it now.
Right, so he didn't know.
He got within a percentage of the real number.
But he had no number to compare it to then.
Well, Eratosthenes was first.
But even Neil deGrasse Tyson says that you could do the same thing with a smaller, closer sun. It would give you the same
But we've done it since with more than 2 sticks, and you can't do it that way. Sly Sparkane did it with 23, and there's no way it could have been flat.
Sorry, I missed the end of that.
Sly Sparkane did it in 3 countries with 23 observers, and there's no way that data could have matched a flat Earth. So we know it's curved, and since we know it's curved, then the Eratosthenes test was measuring curve.
Did you test every single possible flat Earth shape and? But that's in.
As long as
it's flat. There's only one shape.
As long as it's flat, it doesn't work.
Can you guys
how do you know that? Did you try
look at my share
shape?
again real quick?
How many flat shapes
All
can
you can say is that it did match what we think the ball should do, but you can't say it doesn't work on a flat Earth because you haven't actually tested every variation. So you can say that it showed what we think it should see. We should see on a ball. That's what it shows. You can say that.
How many
but you
different
can't say
flat
it definitely
shapes
doesn't work. Sorry?
How many different flat shapes can you think of?
Oh, billions.
Okay,
there's
so
only
if the whole
one
thing
change
was
the outside
flat,
line. You can make it squiggly. You can make some straight, some squiggly. You can.
Okay,
There's
but we're not
endless variety.
the outside line. We're not measuring the outside line, though. We're just measuring everybody's relationship to each other. So if you're all flat, then you're all at the same horizontal. So it doesn't matter what the outside shape of it is. It doesn't work on a flat disc or plane or square or anything.
Oh, shit. So we're getting a fucking hurricane coming through here. Bloody hell.
Hurricanes are a good example of Coriolis force.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, hurricanes actually spin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coriolis is just an apparent deflection.
No,
I mean, you can say that Earth spin causes a hurricane to start spinning, but that is not Coriolis. It needs another. It needs another word for it.
Coriolis.
Because
it's Coriolis.
No, Coriolis is when something goes in a straight line, but from a different reference frame, you see it curve. That's not what's happening with hurricanes. Hurricanes are actually spinning.
But here's the thing: the atmosphere is also rotating. So if you make a curved line through the atmosphere, even if in reality it's straight, if from the perspective of the atmosphere it's curved, then you're actually going to go curved through the air. So whatever effect it would have to go curved through the air is what you're going to see. So you actually are traveling in a curved line from the reference of the atmosphere.
The atmosphere isn't rotating with the Earth, because otherwise you'd have no Coriolis. No, it's not. Because you say you shoot a sniper's bullet and you can see Coriolis on it. That means they're two separate things.
No, the bullet makes a curved path through the air. It makes a straight path in relationship to a fixed reference point in space. But it makes a real curved path.
But if the atmosphere is moving with the Earth, then it would carry the bullet.
The wind doesn't carry the bullet. Why would wind carry a bullet?
You said the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth. If that is the case, there's no Coriolis would be seen on a bullet.
That doesn't have anything to do with Coriolis. The wind doesn't have anything to do with Coriolis.
Exactly. So why are you saying the atmosphere moves with the Earth? It doesn't. Has nothing to do with Coriolis.
It does move with the Earth.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Of course
yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
If it didn't
we have
move
winds
with the
that
Earth,
go in every direction. It doesn't. They don't. The atmosphere isn't like they're gas. They're unbonded gas particles. They're not. They're not. They don't have brains. They can't decide where they're going to stick to.
So, according to the globe model, when on a calm day when there's no wind and you're standing out in a field, there's no wind on you. You are rotating at.
All right, guys. I'm gonna peace on out of here.
Later.
Okay. Have a good day, bro.
I'll probably continue to consider the clouds and what's going on with that.
Good luck. Just remember it's 1 degree every 69 miles.
Adios.
Peace.
Ciao.
So, Paige, think about it. If we're on an actually rotating Earth, think about the ocean. The ocean has currents and it moves, but the whole thing in general goes with the rotation of the Earth. Air's a fluid.
Different things. Water and gas,
Air's a
totally
fluid.
different things.
No, air's a fluid.
Unbonded. Water's not. Water's bonded.
Water is loosely bonded, but that's not my point. My point is that it can flow in all sorts of different directions. Well, I don't think you listen to my point.
The air molecules don't have any contact with the other air molecules for each of them to pass on the information of what they're doing with each other.
You don't think air molecules bump into each other?
I'm sorry, my dog wants to play up. It's probably about time for me to be talking.